The way American companies and managers and bosses try to get their employees to work harder, work longer, make better quality work is by trying to kind of be their friend. So quite a long time ago, 7 years, 8 years ago, I'm not sure, I was going to visit San Francisco with my girlfriend at the time. And we just went there for kind of touristy stuff, visit the city. She had never been there. I was also visiting a friend of mine. But while we were there, my girlfriend's friend's husband had just gotten a job at Google. And since he works there, he could take us around the campus and give us a tour and show us all the neat, cool Google stuff, which was super fun. So when we went there, my girlfriend's friend is a Korean woman, and her husband is a Korean man who moved to America when he was like 15, so he was like 100% American. He spoke Korean. It's hard for me to tell because people were just telling me. He spoke Korean very, very well, but not perfectly, even though he left when he was 15, which seems shocking to me. His English was completely flawless. I've met a lot of people who go to American high schools and stay in America after that, and sometimes their English isn't quite flawless. His was flawless, very Americanized guy, cool guy. So we're walking around Google campus, and he's getting us into all the places you need a Google employee card to get into. And all over Google, there's kind of these little fridges where they have fruits and snacks and energy drinks and coffee, and they're all over the place. And they're 100% free, which is super cool. And it was a little embarrassing because my girlfriend's friend, the Korean woman, she was kind of like stuffing apples into her bag and drinks and stuff. She's like, yay, it's free. And she was going crazy about that, which felt a little not great to the rest of us. We were like, have a little bit of class. Nobody wanted to say that, so no one did. But the point is that Google is really famous for offering all of these free perks. It's not just free snacks around campus. It's like gourmet lunch, gourmet dinners provided. There's places to sleep. I think there's massages. I'm not sure if they're free or if they're just cheap. Somebody will come and change the oil in your car while you're working. They just stop by your office. You give them the keys. I'm pretty sure you have to pay them, but it's a really convenient service. And Google and Microsoft actually are very famous for offering all these free amenities. This idea, I think, is very exemplary of American management style. So American management style works like this. Instead of your boss or your company being this kind of overlord who tries to force you to do as much work as they could possibly force you to do, they're kind of trying to be your buddy. Like not 100% your buddy, but like trying to give you this bond and this feeling that like, okay, he's your boss, but he's not this guy who's he is above you, but he's not like just like your commander in the military. He's kind of your buddy, and you guys are in this together. You guys have X amount of work you have to get done in X amount of time. And if you guys succeed, that's great for both of you. It's great for you. It's great for him. And this management style is, I think, really good because it really gets you to naturally go the extra mile. So by go the extra mile, it's this English term that we use, which means kind of do more than you have to do. Do more than you're expected to do. Just do it because probably you have pride in your work, or you just want the quality of whatever you're doing to be very high. And the main thing is it's more than it's expected. And this management style is kind of made to do that. It's made to get people to go the extra mile, to work harder than they necessarily have to, work longer than they necessarily have to, get them to have some pride in the product they're producing. And this reminds me a lot. I have a lot of Korean friends who want me to proofread their English papers. Maybe they're trying to get into graduate school and they have some paper, or they're in graduate school and they're trying to write a research paper or whatever, and they want me to proofread this stuff. And this is not fun. It's work 100%. But because they're my friends, I really want to help them. And I'm really happy that there's something I could do for them, because they help me a lot, because like they help me with Korean or getting around when I'm in Korea or whatever it is. So I really want to help them as well. And I will go the extra mile for them because they're my buddy. Now I imagine if it were my job to proofread papers, and just, I get a paper I get a paper emailed to me, I get $20 in my bank account, and it just says, proofread this paper, I would do a fine job. But I certainly wouldn't go the extra mile. I certainly wouldn't put in like suggestions of how they should change a sentence just to make it sound better versus just correcting grammar. Like, I put in a lot of extra work just because they're my friends, and they don't even pay me. And that's the kind of feeling that that American management style is trying to do. And it's really good because it gets employees to kind of naturally go the extra mile. But there are two big downsides, I think. Kind of big downsides. Number one, it's really hard. To really pull this off properly, you have to be like a really talented, what we call a people person, good at kind of knowing the boundaries, good at being their friend, and good at being their boss as well, because sometimes you have to be their boss. So it's really hard line to dance. How much of their friend am I going to be? How much of their boss am I going to be? And the other big downside, which kind of comes out of that, is that sometimes you're too much their friend, and they don't respect you, and they won't listen to you, and they'll use their friendship bond to kind of, for lack of a better word, bully you. You know, you're trying to be the boss, and you're saying like, hey man, we got this project we have to get done. You have to do this and this and that. And then they say, oh, come on, boss. You know, I got this wedding I got to go to on Friday evening, and I need to get out of work early that day. And like, could you, boss, maybe just to help me out? Because even though you're his boss, you're still kind of his buddy. Come on, couldn't you just, let me get off this one time, and maybe you could do that work for me, just to help me out? So it kind of goes both ways. And if you're not really good at pulling off this weird trick you have to pull, which is you're their friend and they're your boss, the employees can start kind of pushing over the boss, and the boss can't get the employees to do what they need to do. It's really hard. I mean, I imagine, like, when you have this kind of friendship bond going, I imagine if one of my Korean friends told me, hey, you got to proofread my paper, I'd be like, okay. And they say like, and do it by Saturday at 2 p.m. And they try to like be a boss of me. I'd be like, hey, fuck off. If they do it as a friend, then I'll do it gladly. So if my point is, if you have an employee who's kind of your friend, and you kind of try to give him a command, he'll have that same feeling of like, I don't have to do orders from you. I don't have to take orders from you. You're my buddy. And like, what about you? Why don't you do some stuff for me? And it makes this really complicated web of hierarchical boss-employee relationship feeling. So that is a big downside. But I have to say, really talented managers, really talented bosses who can walk that very fine line, who can really be your friend and also your boss, but be your friend at the right time, and be your friend in such a way that you're wanting to do the work and you're going the extra mile just because you want to. And then at other times, be a boss when you're trying to push back and be like, hey buddy, like I have a wedding on Friday night, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, look bro, shut it down. You're coming in on Friday. You have to stay a little late on Friday. All of us are working hard. You get it together. Someone could do both of those things really well. That's how you can become an excellent manager. And this is kind of the goal of, I think, most bosses and managers in almost any kind of, not just company, but any kind of work situation in America. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you hate this video, give it a thumbs down. If you love me or you hate me, please hit the subscribe button. This video is not controversial. I'm just trying to show you guys, like, I think this kind of boss culture, this kind of company culture is very different from Korean style. And I want to make another video explaining how Korean style maybe isn't that good sometimes, but sometimes is kind of better. I don't know. Like, I want to make that video about it. So if you have any comments about Korean style or about my video, if you hate it or you love it, whatever, please leave comments below. I love comments. Remember, this video comes out after 7 p.m. every single Friday. So if it's after Friday, if it's Friday and it's after 7 p.m., please remember to check out my new video. And of course, the most important thing, have a super awesome day.